Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby and I'm with Fitness is Medicine, and today I'm going to lead you through another full body exercise program that you can do from your home. I'm going to use a band, or you can use a tube. Of course you can use a machine if you have it for the lat pull down. And I'm going to use a set of dumbbells. So if you don't have dumbbells, you can use water jugs or paint cans or water bottles or anything like that. And then a weighted ball, not very heavy, just a smaller weighted ball. If you don't have that, you can just use a smaller dumbbell. And then some body weight exercises. So first we're going to start with a lat pull down. Remember to press pause and do a warm up if you haven't done that already. Do a walk around the block or something like that to get your body warmed up, get your muscles ready for some harder exercise. Okay. We're going to start with a lat pull down, and today I wrapped my tube a couple times to make it shorter. I really want to emphasize pulling down from up. So remember if you think about doing a pull-up, that's the motion that we're working on here. So working those big lats, those big muscles in your back. They attach here to your shoulder, your latissimus dorsi, and they go down the large muscles in your back here. So we're going to start. I'm going to sit down. I looped it through my door so that I have, a high place to loop it from, but I still need to sit on the ground in order to pull down. So when I get into position, I want to start with good posture, shoulders down away from my ears, and I'm going to take the handles straight to my armpits and kind of drive my elbows to the back of the room. So take a breath before you start, and then breathe out as you pull. Nice and slowly. If you have a bar and you're doing this on a machine in your home, the old way to do it was to pull the bar behind your head. Don't do that. Pull the bar in front of your head, just to your shoulders. You can imagine that I'm holding a bar here, and you want the same motion. So nice and slowly, don't let those shoulders come up. And you want to do as many as will kind of take your muscles to fatigue, meaning like not pain, you don't want to overdo it, but where you're feeling those muscles start to work and it's getting hard. So you may need to do a few more if you only have a band. You can double up your bands. You can wrap them around each other a couple times like I did here. When you're using bands and tubes, sometimes you need to do a few more in order to make it challenging enough to work those muscles. Okay, that was the lat pull down. Next, we're going to lie on the ground and do some leg lifts. So we want to start with your knees bent and your back flat against the floor. Remember, you want to think about flattening your back, pressing your back into the floor. We're going to put one leg out, and then let your foot kind of fall over to the side, like if you were really just lying down and you let your leg relax. So the purpose for this is we're going to keep your foot kind of pointed out to the side just a little bit, not all the way, just kind of a natural side, so that we're working your VMO here. This is your medial part of your quad, which does get ignored sometimes, especially for women. It's hard to strengthen that. And we want to go in the range of motion of where this bent knee is, and then almost to the floor. Don't set it down. Unless this is extremely hard for you, then you can set it down each time. That's okay. That's a good progression. Set it down and then lift it up and do as many, 5 or 10 that you can. So nice and slowly each time. The reason for keeping it in this range of motion is to keep that quad contraction. If you let it fall down, that quad gets relaxed. Similarly, if you bring it all the way up, that quad relaxes. So we want to keep it in this range of motion and just go nice and slowly. All right, now we're going to switch sides. Remember, let that toe kind of fall over to the side. And we're going to go up and down nice and slowly, right in that small range of motion. Keep breathing, keep pressing that back into the floor. And because this is a body weight exercise and it doesn't look very hard, correct? But when you start doing it, you realize that it's actually pretty hard. Our legs are pretty heavy, and lifting our leg over and over again can be pretty difficult. If you can do this with your head flat on the floor, try not to use a pillow because pillows can kind of wrench your neck forward. But if you need something back there, you can put a little, just a little small pad or something if that feels better on your neck. Okay, good. Now we're going to come back up to standing. Let's practice our floor to stand technique as we stand up. So we're going to start on our hands and knees. One leg forward. So I always say foot, hand, up, and then sometimes I say foot again because it's hard for people to get their foot all the way forward like that on the first try sometimes. So then I say foot in your other hand and then up. All right. We want to practice those floor to stands whenever we can. Okay, next we're going to do shoulder lateral raises. So I'm going to pick up my dumbbells here. And remember, if you don't have dumbbells, you can use water bottles or, gallon jugs, or you can even use your bands if you stand on them and then pull them out to the sides. So I'm going to do a tandem stance, one foot right in front of the other. And this isn't going to be quite as heavy of a weight as if you were just doing bicep curls, because these our deltoids that are going to do this lateral raise are not quite as strong generally. So you want just a little bit less weight. And if you don't have a super heavy weight, then you can do more. You can, if you only have 2 pounds or something, you can still work those muscles. Just go slowly and do more. Okay, so we're going to go out to the side like this, just in this range of motion. So I'm stopping really before I get any higher than my shoulders. Many times when people start to do this one, they want to bring it way up here, and that can create some impingement in your shoulder. We don't want to do that. So just nice and slowly out to the side. If it hurts to take them out to the side like this, bring them forward a little. So kind of out to a diagonal, not out to the front necessarily, but out to the diagonal, nice and slowly. If that still is bothering your shoulders, bring them here and do a bent arm shoulder raise. It takes a lot of the intensity off your shoulder. So we're making that lever shorter to make it easier on that shoulder joint. If that still hurts, stop, message me. I've got many shoulder exercises we can do to start strengthening in other ways. Okay, good. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but I was in a good tandem stance, one foot right in front of the other. The next time you go through this, put your other foot in front so that you're, really working both ways. It's interesting how often one way feels easier than the other. Okay, next we're going to go back down to the floor. Get to practice our floor to stands a lot today. And we're going to do alternate heel touches. So we're going to start in the same position as we did with your leg lifts. All right. And we're going to bring both feet up like this. And all you're going to do is drop one leg at a time. So you're going to alternate touching your heel. Now, if you can do it without actually touching, that's even more difficult. But you can decide. See, the good thing about this position is it puts your back in a really safe position. And then holding your legs up requires some abdominal work, but alternating which heel goes down to the floor. Nice and slowly. Really feel those abs contract when that leg goes down. This is a great way to work those abs without bothering your neck. And we want to do about 10 on each side. Unless, of course, this is really hard, or if it is hurting your back, stop and readjust and really focus on pressing your back to the ground. And if that's still too hard, you can start with your knees here, with your feet lower. That's just going to be quite a bit easier than having your legs all the way up here. And you can also keep your hands close to your hips here to give you some guidance and some balance. Let's do one more on each side. Remember to keep breathing all the way through. All right, good. So now we're going to flip over and do that floor to stand again. So you're going to be on your hands and knees, foot and up. Remember, this bringing your torso back is extremely important because if you go here and try to stand up, your momentum is still going forward. So bring that center of gravity back over your, right over your midsection here, and then push up from there. Okay, next we're going to do sit to stand. So I've got my ball over here. Find a good sturdy chair, like a kitchen chair or your coffee table, or any good sturdy chair is good, but not like a sofa or a recliner because they're really hard to get out of as it is. So I have a weighted ball here. You can use a dumbbell. You can use, a gallon jug. You don't need a big heavy weight for this. This one's 7 pounds, I think. Lots of times I have people do it in my gym with a 4-pound ball. It's really the motion of not using your hands to stand up. And then we're going to press up overhead. So I'm going to move my camera just a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to have you hold this right out in front of you. Stand up, press overhead. I want you to sit all the way down each time. 3, 4, 5. If you're having any knee pain with this, try putting that knee, stagger your feet a little bit. If one is hurting, stagger your knee to go a little bit in front of the other, like this, and see if that helps. 8, 9, 10. All right, good. So part of that challenge is that you're not using your hands to stand up. Lots of times when we do go to stand or go do something, we're holding something, we're carrying something, right? So we don't have that ability to push up. And using your legs and making those legs strong is really important for avoiding falls and keeping that balance strong and all of that. So it's important to be able to do those without your hands. Okay, one more. Another balance. I'm going to grab another ball. And this one, you don't need to have any weight in this ball. This is a 2-pound ball, but really, you could just use a playground ball or even a tennis ball, something to hold on to and put in front of you. We're going to do tightrope walking. So pretend you have, move my bench out of the way here. Pretend you have a tightrope all the way across your floor. And we're going to do heel to toe walking all the way across that imaginary tightrope. So if you have a tile in your, kitchen, you can follow one of those grout lines, or you can follow, if you have hardwood floors, follow one, line all the way. That's a good visual. If you don't have that, you can just envision one. It's fine. It doesn't have to be exactly straight. But I'm going to start with my ball right out in front, do that heel to toe walking, and we want to go slowly. As you take a step, first we're just going to try this. Holding that ball out in front, doing that heel to toe tightrope walking. Right out in front. I like to have people touch their toes with their heels as they take that step. So try that first. See how that feels and see how your balance does with that. If that feels doable, take that ball and twist. So we're going to change your gaze. We're going to add a twist. We're challenging that balance. And I want you to twist towards the side you take a step with. So I'm stepping with the same foot that I twist with. So you can just keep turning around if you have a small room, or you can, do it the length of your hallway. You can go outside and do it along the sidewalk. But take a step. And when you turn, I want you to turn your gaze as well. That is the challenge, is when you change your gaze. Some people try it like this, and that's good. That's a good kind of jumping off point. But if you're able, turn your head and the ball and your body towards the direction of the step you just took. Nice and easy. So your hips are working, Your feet are working, your ankles, all the way up. This is also working your core, challenging that balance. Good job. All right. So go all the way up and down your hallway, or, all the way across your kitchen, or whatever you have, to, give yourself a good challenge and a good distance. If you're really struggling with this, don't add the twist. Just do the walking, and you can even drop the ball. Sometimes adding that makes it really hard. So figure out which one is a challenge for you, and work on it, and try to do, like I said, kind of a good full length back and forth, and see how that feels. All right, so go ahead and do these all one more time, at least. You can either rewind to the beginning, or if you've written them down, any way you do it is great. But remember to take each of them to that muscle fatigue, not pain, and not where you're not going to be able to walk tomorrow, but kind of like, okay, that's getting hard, I'm going to stop. That's why I usually say 10 or 15. That usually is getting to that point of that muscle fatigue. So go ahead and do these through 2 more times if you have the time and if you have the energy, and let me know what you think. Give me some comments and some feedback, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks, everybody.